do evening lives. But I am doing something new here because I want to really build my community over here on YouTube. This is the place to be. You guys, let me know what conversations you want to have. I'm gonna do some topics here. We're gonna get to talking, and as we're talking, I want to make sure you know that I have Rachel the Radiographer children's books in the background because that is how we get it going around here. And I got some snacks. So whatever questions you guys want to talk about, yeah, let's get it going. Let's talk about some radiology questions. People want to know about pay. People want to know about work-life balance. I'm pulling up some stuff here. Let's see what some things you guys may be wondering about, which is good because people want to know, how do you become a radiology technologist? Is there a high incident of cancer when getting an MRI? I mean, when doing radiology? What's the day-to-day work-life balance? So hey, Brain King TV, welcome. This is my first time going live this late in the evening, but hey, got some snacks. It's almost Friday. Let's talk and answer any questions about radiology that I can answer for you guys. I've been in the profession for 20 years. And if you want to know about pay, I got some children's books back here if you're looking at buying some gifts. Let's see. I've hit 89,000 followers. My goal in 2026 is to get 10K followers. And the way to do that is to build my community here. I don't know what you mean by that. But radiology is a 2-year degree minimum. That's in the US. Now you have other states and countries, other countries that have different requirements for radiology. Now you can have up to a master level degree. You can make up to 6 figures easily in this profession. It's not hard to do, but if money is your only focus for working in healthcare, y'all, it is not gonna last because you have some days where you don't get a lunch. I have made it my goal in 2026 to make sure I get a lunch because it is not healthy not getting a lunch. Some of the things we do see when I do X-ray, CT, and MRI. I wanted to do nuclear medicine, but the first day I went to school, my dad got sick. The second time I wanted to do, well, the first time I wanted to do radiation therapy, but I never got accepted into the schools for radiation therapy. You guys know what radiation therapy is? But thank you for the likes. Thank you guys so much for sharing this and watching this live. Again, this is the first time on this live in the evening. So radiation therapy, I think Sophia was asking, saying she doesn't know what radiation therapy is. Radiation therapy is a part of the radiology field. It's not just x-rays. Radiation therapy, your wife is a radiographer, wants to move abroad to work. Is it possible? Brain King TV, hold on, let me answer this one real quick. Radiation therapy, good question though. Radiation therapy is where we don't take x-rays, we treat people with cancer or a reason to get radiation therapy to shrink maybe tumors. They don't have to be cancerous, but to shrink things. People get radiation therapy for various things, not just cancer. That is the coolest thing about radiation therapy, is you get to help people. And if you want to be in this profession, this is a great profession. Welcome from Houston. This is a great profession to be in because you actually get to help people. So if you have never, ever heard about radiation therapy, we do it a lot in children's healthcare. We do it a lot in adults. I actually had a patient, thank you. Actually had a patient today who told me his experience. 71 years old, and he was like, he wasn't a patient, somebody actually walking by. And he told me, he said, I just want to thank you all for what you do because I got like a whole month worth of treatment with radiation therapy. He was like, it saved my life. He was like, one time I missed my appointment and I had to double up because you have doses of radiation that are prepared by medical dosimetrists. That's another thing you can do in our profession. That is a master degree level program, can be a bachelor's too, but that is a higher level degree. And you use a lot of sciences and a lot of maths to plan out the trajectory. Oh, Victoria Hayes said, saved her sister. Radiation therapy, that was the first profession I wanted to do after finishing radiology school. It's very competitive to get in. The medical dosimetrists, along with the physicists, plan a treatment forever, depending on how long, for patients to be able to target the tumor, the cancer. to shrink it. And you hit healthy tissues as well. So they have to be very accurate because they're going to be targeting using radiation beams through healthy tissue as well. So you want to do as little small penetration of healthy tissues as possible, less damage as possible. So Brain King said his wife is a radiographer in another country, wants to move abroad to work. So the thing with that is, even within the US, I can only speak for the US, everybody cannot just go anywhere they want and practice. You have to go to certain schools, which are basically the curriculum follows the gold standard, which means the ARRT is our gold standard here in Canada, certain parts of Canada and the US. People have to go to a school that follows that curriculum. You may ask why. Because what if your neighbor wanted to start an x-ray school and decided, well, I'm just going to write a curriculum and then everybody goes to their school because it's cheaper. Well, now you got a bunch of people out there taking x-rays of people that don't know what in the world they're doing because they went to Joe Blow's school. So there is a standard and a certain curriculum that must be followed by the Department of Education, different accreditation boards, but two main ones, I think it's three, that are recognized federally, statewide. But when you move to different countries, your degrees don't always follow you because each country has their own accreditation process. That's like some people move here that are doctors in other countries. Hey, everybody. This is my first live going in the evening. So, but some people move from other countries that are doctors. It doesn't always transfer over, and they either have to go to medical school within the US or the country they live in, or they have to do some type of reciprocity if they don't have reciprocity. So your wife will have to look into that. But then you also have visa issues. So just because your school may transfer over doesn't mean that you're legally allowed to work in the country. So you have to follow certain guidelines with the country wise. So good question. So radiology technology has so many professions. You start in x-ray for most people, but you don't have to always start in x-ray. You can actually become an ultrasound technologist without ever going to radiology school. It's a 2-year degree as well, but you only can do ultrasound. The pay is really good. You don't only ultrasound babies, though. That's what people think. Oh, you just get to ultrasound babies. No, you actually don't just have to ultrasound babies. They ultrasound the carotid and the jugular, all the vessels. They ultrasound the heart, the abdomen, the vessels in the legs. I don't think they ultrasound the head or anything like that because those tissues don't have a lot of water in them. I mean, the brain does, but you got a lot of skull too. But it's not really that clear. But ultrasound is used with sound waves. Sound waves. So that is very important. Neuro ultrasound? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So you have ultrasound, and you can ultrasound pretty much anything. Just a few things, no. But ultrasound is used a lot, a lot in the hospital, outpatient. A lot of people own their own ultrasound clinics. That is another avenue of this profession that people don't know is you can own your own company as an ultrasound technologist. Like I have a friend that owns 2 imaging centers where she owns ultrasound imaging centers. Yeah, pretty cool, right? So some people go to people's house and do ultrasounds. No, she actually has a full-fledged business where she has people come and they get their ultrasounds done in her business. And she does all type of ultrasounds. I'm telling you, yeah. So it's a really, really good profession to have because imagine if you own your own imaging center, say ultrasound, and you do the ultrasounds, you keep all the money. It's all your money, right? So that is pretty cool. The other option is, I'm going to try to fix the lighting here while I do that. The other option is to, let's give me some light, is to not only do that, but you can work. Here we go. Let's change that up a little bit. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. There we go. That lighting is better. I was getting a glare from the top. So with an ultrasound clinic, you can own your own ultrasound clinic and you can do your own patients. You can do the scans yourself. You don't have to hire, you can hire people out, but you don't have to hire people out. That's pretty cool, right? The other option is, I know people that are CT techs, MRI technologists. CT techs are CAT scan technologists. And what they do is take cross-sectional images of patients. You can do any body part. We don't just take what you usually see is just like an abdomen. We can CAT scan head to toe. We'll CAT scan fingers, toes, knees, vessels, just hearts alone, you can CAT scan pretty much any body part. And that's really interesting because people come to us with so people wonder, like, what do people need a CAT scan for? It could vary. People can need a CAT scan because you have an abdominal pain. Your stomach is hurting, you just come through the ER. Have you guys, let me ask this question. Let's get a poll going. I'm gonna ask